What the fuck? Now I'm all tangled up here. What in the Sam hell's going on?
It's okay. There's a 10-second delay where they'll see all that.
Oh, there we go. Untangled. Collision averted. Oh, here like these guitar picks with an afro.
Nice. All right, guys. So we are live, and this is our first ever live show. So you'll have to bear
I'm
with
spreading
us.
COVID.
Jay's spreading COVID.
Yep.
So I've got my friend Jay here, and he's an HVAC technician as well. Why don't you go ahead and tell all 4 people watching what your background is?
Who's actually watching right now?
Actually, I don't know. If you're out there watching, give us a
comment.
Give us a comment so we know. Yeah.
Obviously, I could see David Cook was trying to watch, so I'm sure he's in here.
I'm in here.
Yeah, we're in here. But what, you want a background of where I first started or where I'm at now?
Whatever you want, man. As much as you want to give. You don't have to give any company names, obviously.
You know what? I would enjoy thoroughly putting them on blast, but I won't do that today.
All right, we'll save that for the next one.
No, but I started HVAC in 2013, maybe something like that. I started out basically though. I started out doing new construction, residential rough-ins, and been through everything in between of doing.
Oh, what happened? Hey,
okay,
there you are.
I don't have no clue what happened there. It just kind of went poof and went bye bye.
Now I don't know how to get you off the screen. Oh, there we go. And he froze again. Let's see.
Let's see how many times this can happen.
Yeah, let's go for 3.
Yeah, really.
I don't know if it's your internet or mine because I do have some storms in the area. But my modem looks okay.
Mine's in the other room, so I don't know. I'm on my cellular data now, so let's see if it does it again.
I'm going to close my YouTube in the background too.
Maybe I'll turn off the Xbox behind me. Sorry, everyone, for the technical difficulties, and if you just saw my underwear, my apologies. I do not wear pants.
Not even at work?
If I could go in underwear, I absolutely would, but it's frowned upon in hospitals.
Oh, well. Okay, so back to where we were. What What is your background?
So I started, I mean, obviously I went to tech school like most people do HVAC. I started in the field, I think it was in 2013. I think. It's been a while, maybe 2014. But I did residential new construction at the time. And that was actually my first HVAC job. I actually ended up getting hurt at that job, or else I would have a longer background, but I tore this rotator cuff. I'm looking at the camera trying to point to my right side, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm confused. But anyway, our cameras are backwards, so if you guys see us like screwing around like this, it's because we literally have to move the opposite way. But
I keep holding stuff up over here and trying to show it to Jay before the show started.
It's like, no, the other way. But anyway, and then after that, it was a long recovery road and stuff. But beyond all that, I moved on to somewhere else after that. I was still getting paid, garbage really. When around here, when you're not union and you're starting out, you get paid trash. It's like $12 an hour type of thing. And when you're kind of low on the totem pole, you're really busting your ass. I did that for a while. I did, and then after the second place I went to, I did residential and commercial installation. Now, the last job I got to work on was actually pretty fun. We installed 3 25-ton package units, I think, and we were hanging like 32-inch round spiral ductwork and stuff like that. Pretty fun stuff. After that, I moved on to service with another company that I did for quite a long time. What, a year and a half or something, or maybe even a little more. I don't remember. That was a lot of residential service, but a lot of light commercial stuff mixed in. Basically, a lot of rooftop unit stuff. From there, I got a job because the whole time I've been trying to move towards commercial service work, which around here has proven to be difficult. But so I was trying to move towards that. So I decided to start working commercial installation. Thought it would help. Got with a local company again, bigger company. It was better pay, better benefits I was looking for and stuff. Still. I wasn't doing what I wanted to. The idea of commercial there was just putting split systems in like commercial apartment buildings, type of thing.
Gotcha.
But after that, I landed where I am now, which I currently work at a hospital as an in-house HVAC technician. I almost doubled my salary by starting to work here. I mean, damn close to doubling it. But and then of course the benefits in hospitals are a lot better than they are everywhere else. And then not to mention the 13 chillers I believe we have in house. And then that goes from traditional centrifugal chillers down to little baby glycol chillers and everything you can imagine. We actually have, this is fun, we have a gas engine powered chiller in the basement of our shop.
I actually worked on some gas engine powered VRF. That's pretty cool stuff. Is it natural gas?
No, gasoline.
Oh, actual gasoline.
Yeah, it's an actual gas. It's literally a most boats, they use just small car engines, and it's actually a boat engine that's for out of a car that sits on top, and that's what powers it.
Yep, these had just little Toyota Camry engines.
Yeah, this one I think was a Volvo, maybe something like that. But it was just due to the fact of having,
I think I got the book around
two chillers
somewhere.
in a small building. It's a heavy electrical load, and there wasn't quite the electrical power there for it. The main building is different. Anyway, tons of walk-in freezers, coolers, obviously having a cafeteria. We have the three main boilers or steam boilers. To describe how big they are to you guys, I mean, they're like the size of a small ranch house. Each one. They each produce 17,000 pounds of steam per hour. Let's see. And then the countless other things mixed in, like little reach-ins and stuff like that, all the way down to, in the operating room section, we have a bone freezer. Yes, I said bone, like bones in your arm. The temperature in that box it's set for minus 75 Celsius. I know not many people know what that is. I still have a hard time figuring it out at times because I'm not used to it.
I think it's about 120 Fahrenheit.
Something like that. It's like minus 10 to minus 120 Fahrenheit. So you can't really do too much to it. It's cold. It's just every day is a new battle, something different every day. It's good exercise too, because I actually just sent to Casey. I don't know if she's watching or not right now, but sent her earlier a screenshot of my steps for the day, and I walked about 7 miles today. So yeah, it keeps me plenty busy. So this is beer. I drink lots of.
This is also beer.
Yeah, it's sitting. Actually, I'm using this as a coaster. Anybody who saw the post in the group knows what that is.
Just using that. How much was that thing again? Just using that as a coaster. Tabletop.
$550 coaster. Well, I have a koozie over the beer. It's just so I wanted to sit it on my, because I'm actually sitting in my gaming chair right now, and the phone's on my bed because it's still plugged in. But so I was just something so it doesn't topple over. I don't have a table nearby.
Yeah, Mike, if you guys are wondering why my camera's so high, it's because it's on my tabletop right now. I don't have a spot in the. I don't really have a spot where I can put it behind the computer. So if you're wondering why I'm looking down, it's because the camera's up here and the computer's down here in front of me. But we're going to get it all worked out.
Eventually, someday.
One
when we
day.
Become like fancy.
Yeah, one day we will be moderate at this.
That right there. Let me see my thumb there. That's a Michael Scott from The Office poster. Says that's what she said. Love The Office. Back to work. Yeah, I mean, there's just a million other things. Most of the building is actually pneumatic, which is fun because I've never had a chance to work on pneumatic controls before until now. And as scary as they can be if you don't know about them, they are stupendously simple, realistically. I mean, it's just extraordinarily simple. It senses temperature, and based upon that, it'll either let the air out of the lines from the thermostat, and that'll allow a steam valve to open, or it'll close off and let the air build back up to close the valve off. And that's all it is, because the hospital is constant cooling 24/7, 365.
Some of the pharmaceutical places that we work are like that. We supply 55-degree air year round, and then the steam will either open or close depending on what the room wants.
Mm-hmm. Our hospital chillers, we have two trained centrifugal chillers. They're 650 tons each. Anybody who doesn't get that reference, average air conditioner in your house central air system is 2 to 3 tons. So these are 650 each, 1,300 total. They each have about 250,000 hours of runtime on them right now. So they go.
If I don't know if he's actually out there listening, but if Angelo's out there, one of the guys that I work with, he deals with a lot of pneumatics at one of his contracts. So I might have to get him your information because I know he's just kind of venturing into that world for the first time.
Yeah, Zach, there was definitely man down. I'm having a much better luck now, but thank you. Amanda wants to know where's the dog goes.
They're in the other room with Monica. Django won't come in here. He's got to walk through the hallway.
I don't know why you could comment and I can't. So, but David, yeah, I'm enjoying a beer with you, brothers. So,
I think we got all the three main guys covered here. We got Coors Light, I'm drinking Bud Light, and you got a Miller Light. So, yeah,
I normally drink heavier stuff, but my stomach hasn't been agreeing with it recently, so I've been toning it down. There's a beer burp for you. First one of the night. There we go. Pointing at the camera. Sorry, still trying to get that. Back and forth.
It's really hard when it's off center. If it's like right in front of you, it's easy because you can just point where you want.
It's not that bad because I could be like, oh, there you go. But still, I'm looking at myself on the screen, but my picture of myself there, see me screwing around still, is off to the left of where my camera is. So, because I'm just using a smartphone, I don't have a laptop. Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, I don't have a laptop either. Monica has a laptop, and I use hers.
Well, what the hell is she doing?
Oh, she's in the other room.
Jesus.
But the whole idea that I had when I started this for all 11 of you out there watching.
Oh, is there 11 now? Oh,
we have hit double digits. We're getting big. Oh, we dropped to 10. Spoke too soon. But the whole idea when I had this was I started a few weeks back.
No problem, David.
In the group, the weekend review, which was just I would take one photo of basically something that I was working on that week, and I would post it. And it seemed to get it seemed to pick up some popularity. So I thought maybe we could do some live streams. I don't know if we're going to do these every week, every other week, what we're going to do just yet. But I know, like we've already talked about, Jay is in the HVAC industry. I'm in the HVAC industry, so we can talk to each other and know what each other's saying. And we'll try and keep it as simple as possible. But basically what we're going to do is just get on here and talk about what we've worked on over the last week.
Evan's in here too, so that adds one. Sweet.
We'll tell him to turn his phone on so we can get it back up to double digits.
That's because he uses that damn potato that he was always taking pictures from.
Yeah, I don't know what he did to his camera on that thing. He's got to clean the grease off of that. I think he got a new one now. He's got to clean the grease off of that or something. I know he's an HVAC tech too.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there's any of you guys out there that are in other trades. You know, you're always more than welcome to throw your input in on everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us about your in a thing. Doesn't matter what, you know. Even if you're just general construction or something, you know. Hey, hats off to the working tradesmen as I continue to drink.
I can't take my hat off because I'll have to take my headphones off, and then it'll become a whole big thing.
I don't even have a hat on, so it's okay.
Then you'll see that I didn't get a haircut this week.
Amanda says, leave his potato alone. Well,
fix it.
You know, when he's sending me pictures and I'm trying to decipher what the hell I'm looking at, I had to hate on the potato just a little bit.
We're going to bring that up every show now.
Evan and his potato.
But I've been working on exhaust fans all week. Actually, with Angelo, the guy that I was talking about before, we've been doing bearings all week long on a standing seam roof. And I think there's 60 some odd exhaust fans. Not bad.
It's okay.
I think there's 60 some odd exhaust fans, and we've got to change not all of them, but there's 10, I think, that need shaft, motor bearings, something of the like, motor bracket. And you've got to carry everything out across the standing seam roof, which is just a great time. I need to get a sled or something that I can drag the stuff because everything weighs about 100 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I know your pain on that. We changed, let's see, was that 2-3 weeks ago? We changed a motor in a cooling tower, in a small cooling tower compared to the size of some of ours. It was a 40 horsepower motor. It weighed 460 pounds.
I think I posted a video of that one at the museum. That's something, yeah, it's a 40 or 50 horsepower motor. And to be honest, if we ever have to change that thing, I don't know how I'm going to get it out of there.
I don't know how our main hospital air handler, which does the nurse stations and patient rooms, it is driven off of 2 75 horsepower motors. The squirrel cage is taller than I am.
Wow.
I actually I have it on my shirt over here, but I have a retractable thing for my ID badge. Sometimes, like, to see what's happening, I have to like go in there while it's on, which is hysterical because it's like being in one of those hurricane wind tunnels. And when I'm trying to come out, the air handler actually takes my badge and fully retracts it, and it flaps in the breeze in there, and it sucks it off. It's like, you know, for you guys who don't understand, like, you actually have to like hold your hat and everything because it just sucks everything away. There's actually about 20 masks in there because it sucks the mask right off.
That's one of those that the wind is actually so powerful that it's hard to breathe.
It's actually not bad, depending on how the setup is. So there's relief dampers and then there's outside air dampers. Naturally, it depends on what position everything's in, depending on what the static is. Once you get inside, it's not bad. It's probably, I don't know, 30 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour wind type of thing. But the transition from the normal environment to that environment is horrifying. You do actually lose your breath. And actually, if the door is open on the return side of it, if you're too close, it'll suck you off your feet.
There's so this was at a different museum, but basically we take care of these 4 museums, and if you think of a city block and a crossroad, you've got one on each corner. And this is the same block. It's taken care of by the same guy, and went across the street from the museum that I was just talking about. And one of my guys was in there working, and they were having an issue with a belt coming off. So he gets the belt put back on, and the maintenance guy for the city is over there with him. And as he's climbing out of the air handler, which this has got, again, another big 50 horsepower motor on it with a door that's 10 feet tall to go into it. So just to give you guys an idea of how big this air handler is, I mean, it stands every bit of 10 or 12 feet tall. The maintenance guy turns the power on, and the blower starts up right as he's crawling out of it, and the thing slams the door shut so hard that it blows the door apart on a Friday afternoon. And the guy was got to put the thing back together, and he had to go out and get a rivet gun and get rivets and everything. And, oh man, he was pissed, which I would be too, because you have to sneak right by where all the belts and the bearings and everything to get out of the thing. So, I mean, another second sooner and he'd have been in front of it.
Yeah, that's the dangerous part about being on the supply side of ours, because that's where they both sit. And there's only about there's only about this much room between the drain pans and the squirrel cage. And if you're not careful when you trip or something, you're going right into that damn cage. But yeah, we actually, when we open the doors while it's running, because sometimes you have to see what's happening while it's running, to keep it open, we have a piece of Cat6 data cable tied to the door, and we wrap it twice around the steam line and a couple times around the handle and tie it so it doesn't pull the door shut. And a lot of times when you're trying to open the door, I have 1 foot on the side of the air handler and 2 hands on it to pull the door open. Because these things
this one, the door actually opens in, so that's why it slammed it, because he was on the supply side.
Yeah, we have one like that.
It's York. It doesn't make sense.
We actually have an air handler that's even bigger, and it's because it does the operating suite. Give you guys an example. I have a 1,600 square foot house, and it's kind of an old style house, but the air handler is longer than my house, and it's just as wide as an entire floor. So, and it's 18 feet tall. I mean, this thing is probably 60, 70 feet long. And this is just to move air. It's insane. Okay. Have a good night, David. Thanks for stopping in for a little bit. Oh, Casey's here.
Great. Oh, we're in trouble now. I've got to do this. It's bugging.
For those of you who don't know, Casey's my fiance.
Sorry, that was bugging the ever-living crap out of me. But yeah, other than those exhaust fans, it's just been we looked at a ice machine today. I think it's probably low on charge, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, I've had 7 of those break in the past week.
Manitowoc?
Manitowoc and Fallettes. You ever worked on the Fallettes?
I have not.
They're mostly smaller. They're more or less they just have an ice. They don't have a bin. They don't dump into a bin like a Manitowoc or a Scotsman or a Hoshi. They dump into a bin of sorts, but they're more or less like a dispenser, like at a restaurant. And they have it makes ice pretty damn quick. I mean, they're snappy with making ice. And what it does is it has an evaporator, and it cools that evaporator, and there's a motor with an auger, and it turns the auger, and it cuts the ice off the evaporator and pushes it along. They're nice little machines, but when they break, man, painful. Wow, thanks. Anytime, sweetheart. Yeah, Miranda's here too. Hello, Miranda. Shout out to you. That is Casey's brother's future wife. They're actually getting married next week. So,
Is that your
future brother-in-law's fiance?
Law? What does that make her to you?
Do I have to claim you? Just kidding, Miranda. Yeah, I guess it would be pretty much sister-in-law. So
Twice removed.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think that would be twice removed. Actually, we're learning a lot here today. But
sorry if we got kind of hung up on one subject. Me and Nick we're kind of like a similar personality, so sometimes we rattle off more to each other than anything.
Yeah, I think there is that OCD in the technician side of things, and I think that's what gives us the ability to do our jobs. You know,
yeah, really.
If you see a lot of the guys that go commercial and go to the larger stuff, they tend to not be really like people pleasers or things like that. If you look at and this is going to make sense to you, Jay, but probably not a lot of other people. But if you look at like Gil, how he went from the industrial side and then came back to residential, you know, and that's strictly because he enjoys talking to people and stuff like that. Where I think,
Miranda, don't call yourself a sped.
Sped.
Yeah. Well, I just gave you a shout out. I know I didn't have to put it out there, but hey, we're all family now, so we're all about kind of like a family and close friend vibe in the group. So
that's right. We all intermingle, and you know.
Yeah. The OCD thing definitely helps a ton. As Chris from HVACR videos said, everything.
Chris Stevens, I think is his last name, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember his last name. I don't even know if he's part of the group or not. Either way, terrific guy, makes awesome videos, super friendly and approachable. But as he says, now I actually use this as like everything is just a symptom of the actual problem. And, you know, I think of that every day when I'm working on something. Big picture, as he always says. And I've used that many a times, and a lot of people don't understand it, but.
Well, a lot of people get this tunnel vision, and
yeah,
I think that's another side effect of having that little OCD tendency in you, to where you get this tunnel vision of, you know, it's doing this, this, and this. I know it has to be this.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're too focused. You're not seeing the big picture. You can't see the forest through the trees, if you will.
Man, I guess it's kind of easy for it to work sometimes. Like maybe if you're on like a gas furnace in someone's basement, and especially older ones where there's like nothing to them, I guess it's easy to get that way. But in commercial, you know, you really have to dig, and you have to dig deep into things. And a lot of times it's easy to stand and want to run one thing for 4, 5, 6 hours just digging.
That and we work on so many different things.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's up, guys? HVAC Residential Basics. What's up, buddy?
Man, you're seeing them quicker than I am.
Well, see, the little chat thing is at the bottom, and it like pops up when there's a notification of a new chat.
Oh, okay. Mine doesn't notify me. Anyway, if you guys are wondering why we're getting so enamored with what's going on our screens, it's because we've never done this before. So things happen, and then we go, "Oh, look, that's cool. What's happening?"
Yeah. The only time I ever actually went live was when I think I did it once with I think when Gil Cavey did a live stream once, and then me, him, and Curtis Black did the podcast once with Kelly was out of town. So
I did the podcast with him and Kelly once. I've never gone live with him. Curtis, man, he's something else.
Well, that was a podcast where he tried to do not only he tried to do audio, but he did video as well. So we were actually talking like this live for the podcast.
I remember listening to that one. So yeah, you've got a little bit of podcast pedigree too.
Yeah, I could probably have like a whole like hour and a half of experience at this.
Oh man, I've been on Zach's show. I know he was in the chat a few minutes ago.
Yeah, he was earlier.
I've done 2 or maybe 3 episodes for him. I know Monica did 1 for him. I don't think I've done anything on his Man with Issues, just his HVAC Shop Talk, and then I've done.
Yeah, I was gonna say anybody who wondering who Zach is, that's HVAC Shop Talk.
Yeah, scroll all the way back up to the top. He was one of the first people to comment.
Anybody who loves HVAC like me and Nick do, check him out. Top-notch stuff. Also,
and then when you're done with
check the HVAC Uncensored Nation podcast as well.
Oh, Zach's still in here. But when you're done checking out those 2 podcasts, go check in with a therapist as well, because you probably need to seek some help.
Especially if you watch Gil KV for an hour. Man, what a nutcase.
That guy's weird.
He is weird.
Kelly, on the other hand, here to defend himself.
I was to say, I think he did say he was out of town or something. I'd have to check the group text earlier, but yeah. Oh wait, we got 2. Oh, I can't see anything here right now. Sorry. There we go.
Oh, Shop Talk sent KC here.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay, I see it now.
Yeah.
I was having trouble reading it. Sometimes my eyes are funny when I stare at the screen too long.
I think it's because you get tired. I know I didn't get enough sleep.
Excuse me. Well, glad to have you here as well, Clint.
Oh, Clint Glasgow's in here. Oh, nice. Man, we've got all the big HVAC players in here.
Yeah, really. And hey, thank you guys a ton for showing up for this, especially trying to become, we're not like you guys, especially HVAC Shop Talk. Nothing against you other guys, but Zach has an incredibly huge following, and he's incredibly popular, and for good reason. And it's just great to have you guys here with us.
It is, man. I really do thank Zach for giving us a shout out in his group. I saw he did that right as the show was kicking off. But his other podcast is really taking off too, his Man with Issues podcast. And if any of you guys that aren't HVAC guys or trade guys, I recommend going to check out his Man with Issues podcast, and you watch it on YouTube or listen to it for 5 minutes, and you guys will understand why he has the following that he does, because he's such a nice, down-to-earth guy. To be completely honest, I've never actually met Zach, but I feel like he could be like my next-door neighbor.
Casey's getting on my case right now for bourbon. It's not the first time, honey, and it's not going to be the last.
Yeah, Jerry.
Let's see. Jerry G. Yeah, you were right. You have to be extremely diversified. No doubt about it. No 2 ways about that, man. There's everything, from negative pressure to very low temperature cascade, and it's insane the amount of stuff that's out there versus, when you move out of the residential field into full commercial. It's insane what you run into.
Not to beat up on the residential guys either,
no,
because they're
not.
starting to get a lot more diversified with what they've got going on. They've got
with the
ERVs coming out and inverters and everything else.
Yeah, you guys, and I'm not hating on you guys at all, and I was one of you guys at one time. You guys definitely grind away really hard, long, strenuous hours of call after call after call after call. So, that's definitely not hating on you guys at all. You guys probably grind away harder than we do at times.
Oh, definitely.
More often than not.
More often than not, yeah. Yeah, I started out in residential. I think I've talked about my background a little bit, but I'll go over it again. I started out in residential. I started working with my dad, worked with him since I was old enough to carry a tank from the basement to the truck. And then when I got done with high school, I got on with a
HVAC residential basics. I'm with you. Let's storm it, man. Let us know how that Bosch works out, Zach.
What are we storming?
Zach's house to do a giant podcast.
Oh, let's do it. We wage war on the morrow.
That's right.
But I started out with a small company, and my background with my dad gave me enough knowledge to know what was wrong and what was right. You know, I remember starting out with him and starting out with this small company that, again, I'd love to put those guys on blast, but I'm not going to do it right now.
Zach's down for it too, apparently.
Oh, okay. Well, party at Zach's house, everybody.
Maybe we don't have to storm it then. Just bring beer.
But I remember
this is for Casey.
She's gonna whoop your ass when we get off here.
I know. Well, she's not with me right now, but she sees me tomorrow, so she's
gonna throw a beer bottle at you.
I'm gonna get bitch smack as soon as I walk through the door.
Oh, Zach says just knocking to let us in. That's good to know.
Miranda just called me a cheese pup. Thank you. You know, even though Casey says she's going to whoop my ass. See, this is what goes on in the family.
Well, we got Australian viewers too.
Did we? Terrific. Welcome to anyone who just joined. Welcome. Feel free to add anything you want in the comments.
And if you did just join, just shout out that you're in here so that we know that you're in here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm acknowledging every comment I possibly can.
We might have to turn the comments off after a while. They're quite distracting.
I'm trying to watch them as you talk, because obviously this is your thing. You know, Miranda, I'm really going to start reading off the stuff you send me via text.
What's up, Gareth? Or I think that's how you pronounce your name. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry. You didn't provide me with a pronunciation guide. I have a mush mouth like Dan does, so.
Well, yeah.
He'll get that.
Garth, or however you say it. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hopefully you enjoy the conversation here, even though it's just two drunk asses sitting here talking to each other.
Let's see. He's 15 hours ahead of us, so I think it's actually Saturday morning there. Should be Saturday. Let's see. It's 9 o'clock here.
Yeah, I know Gil gets distracted
by lunchtime right there. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
It is kind of distracting at times, but you know, I'm trying to let Nick talk a little bit, and I'm trying to acknowledge you guys there just because I want everyone to be as included as possible. So if I get too distracted by the chat, please feel free to let me know, and I'll pay attention more.
Oh, your video just cut out again.
It's because Miranda keeps sending me screwed up memes on my phone. Yes, I'm shouting out. I'm pointing you out right now.
Yeah, your video didn't go away, so it works for me.
Yeah. Dude, I'm almost out of beer already. I only got a little bit left in this one. That's it.
But what have you worked on this week? So, I mean, we talked about, I've pretty much been doing the exhaust fan thing all week.
Which is funny, I actually got into some exhaust fan stuff myself. So, obviously, being a hospital, we have an in-house pharmacy. And pharmacies have clean rooms where I don't know what they do in there. Don't pretend to know. Not my business, because the less I know about that place, the better. Because in a building,
like they clean things to the layman.
Yeah. When you have 2,000 to 2,500 people working in one building, you know, I don't pretend to know what everybody does. But so they have to be in constant negative pressure. There's another one.
Oh, so I called that right. He says it's 11:15. I said 12.
Yeah, nice job.
When you figure daylight savings time, which they don't participate in.
But
yeah,
they randomly decided to add a passway between clean rooms from one to the next. And then they were like, oh, well, the negative pressure and humidity is way off. Well, no shit, Sherlock.
You changed
You
the
added a
program.
whole nother door to something that was very, very carefully balanced. Now, we're not going to do this because none of us are air balanced people. I've never been an air balanced person, never will, because I don't know it. I mean, granted, I can't say I never will, but it's not something
It's a lot more into the engineering side, and it gets
Yeah.
real technical real fast. And yeah, you got to
It's-
know what you're doing.
I mean, these people, and especially in situations like, they'll spend weeks dealing with stuff, weeks and weeks. But so now it has to all be redone. Other thing is,
excuse me.
we are actually in the process of hooking up a temporary chiller to the one in our building. Actually, two temporary chillers. They're 200 tons apiece. Because it has a bad compressor. I think I've told you this before. Maybe I haven't. I don't know. It has a bad oil valve in the compressor, so it constantly shuts off on high oil temp because it's not discharging enough oil to get it out there, cool it off, and then bring it back.
Train screw compressor?
No, this is old school, buddy. This is a Dunham Bush.
Oh, is it semi-hermetic or
No. It looks like a giant cylinder. That's it. It's it's probably 2 feet tall and foot and a half around or so. It's like it looks like a giant pill capsule.
Open drive?
Like. What's that?
Open drive?
Nothing. It's weird. It's pretty old. It's about probably 35 years old or something.
Is the motor external to it where you compressor runs off a belt?
No, that one doesn't run off a belt.
Not that old.
No, it's not quite that old. It's probably just after that, realistically. There's no digital controls of any sorts of that. I mean, there is like a display now. There wasn't originally. And in fact, we now have an electronic display on it, but originally you could see it has lights for everything.
Yep. It's that old Honeywell control with the knobs.
No, it doesn't have knobs, but it has like big lights about this big around.
Yep.
And like, so if it went off on high oil temp, you would actually have to physically go down and push in a switch to reset it and everything. Like
it's like a 40-watt light bulb in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know which one you're talking about.
But yeah, so granted, none of us are certified welders at the hospital, so we had to have somebody come in and weld taps on and everything so we could hook up temporary chiller lines. And
there's Gil. We can make fun of him now. What's up, Gil?
Is he in there? Mr. KV, what's up, motherfucker? Sorry, my phone is going off in the midst of all this. But so we got the taps welded on, so now we have to hook them up. Now, obviously, due to reasons that are beyond our control, we're not physically allowed to start the chillers up because they are rentals. So the rental company themselves has a very specific process in which they do things. But yeah, that's one of the things we're in the midst of, so we could shut down this chiller completely and let the other one run, because the building is mostly just a few offices, kind of industrial. It's a loading dock, our shop, and things like that. But it has one key component to everything, and it's the lab, the microbiology lab, and everything else, histology, and every test that is done with blood and everything in the hospital and testing for any type of bacteria and everything is done there. And those machines have to be maintained at a certain temperature or they shut down, and we can't afford to lose those machines. So we're doing that. That main air handler I spoke of earlier, we're in the process of tweaking the airflow and stuff because we had an issue. It has a GCM controller by Barbara Coleman, Network 8000. So it's a pretty old controller. It went bad, so we lost control over a lot of things. And so now we're tweaking the outside air dampers and also tweaking, well, not tweaking, but we actually had to open a bunch of valves we have 2 Trane glycol chillers up there. And what those do is when it's bringing in outside air, obviously our supply air temp goes up because, especially as hot as it's been here, it's been over 90 for quite a while. And so those add additional cooling and dehumidification. So we've been dealing with that, regulating that. And then, let's see, I think that's been about the biggest consumption of my week so far. Gil, what's the middle finger for, dude? Jesus. Hey,
Is that
thanks,
what that
man.
is?
I appreciate
It
it.
doesn't even show anything on mine. It's just the little boxes.
Yeah,
My
he
Windows
said
7 is not
emoji. Yeah,
compatible.
back at you, motherfucker.
So
But
I guess for everybody out there, we should probably explain what a chiller is and what a temporary chiller looks like, because they're probably getting that.
catastrophically different because actually our current chiller is water cooled and the new one's air cooled. The temporary's air cooled. So
Well, that makes sense because
it makes sense because
you're pulling
it's
it
just,
in on a trailer.
right,
It's
and
coming in
they're
on a
pulling it in
flatbed
on the
trailer.
trailer. So all you literally have to do is give it power and water lines to. Hey, Mr. Steve. Who's Mr. Steve? Sorry if I'm messing with somebody there. Anyway, but yeah, and then all you have to do is tie it into the main chilled water supply, and it's easy. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, so basically, guys, what a chiller does, real quick, and then if Amanda will text me back what she wants out of me. Basically, what a chiller is your air conditioner in your house is chilling the air itself. So you run the air over a cold coil and you move the heat from the air to the coil itself, and then that takes it outside. Oh, what's
Jeremy,
up, Jeremy?
what's up, man? Welcome.
And then what you're doing with a chiller is you're cooling water rather than cooling the air. And the reason that you do that is because it's far more efficient to cool water than it is to cool air. So when he says he's bringing in a temporary chiller, what they do is they actually back up a flatbed trailer to the building. And like he said, you hook up the water to it, you hook up the power to it, and then it runs. And you can even get them to where they'll run. I've seen where they'll run like diesel engines and you just put fuel in them. But that's what.
Yeah, that goes back to the one I talked about earlier that's gas powered, but some of them are. So basically what it is instead of electricity driving these motors, it's gas or diesel. In that case, it's an engine. In situations where you don't have enough power, because chillers require a shit ton of power. The main chillers for the hospital are 4,160 volts each. And so, that's that's a main hospital we can accomplish that. But in the building in which this one's in, it's like I said, it's a smaller building and stuff, so they don't have that heavy electrical demand. So it was easier to put in a gas engine chiller.
Right. So these chillers, these machines, use about as much power as half the houses on your block, if not more. But Amanda finally texted
Jeremy,
me back.
I love how you just put so many E's in that deep. Yes, it's deep.
Yeah, we're getting very far down the rabbit hole for the.
Okay, thanks, Gil. I wasn't sure who you were referring to there. I'm not familiar with everybody that's in here, but thank you for the clarification, and no offense to Mr. HVAC Basics there.
Mr. Steve.
Yeah. I wasn't aware of who he was, so like I said,
didn't
no
know his
offense
name
to you.
either, so I'm glad Gil jumped in here because we just kept calling him HVAC Basics.
So we can call him Mr. Steve now. And
But Amanda wants to know the story behind the dogs because some reason.
No dog. Why there's no dogs here?
I think she wants to know their origin stories. So Django's origin story is actually a really quick one. We got him from the Union County Animal Shelter. We were down there dropping off some cat food that a friend of ours had given us. Our cats eat some kind of prescription food because they need it and it costs a lot of money. That's all I really know. Yeah, you put that it's science diet. So as soon as you put science in there, it exponentially more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But we were dropping off some cat food that they couldn't eat, and we walked back through the where they keep the pets, and Django was just sitting in there. He's just sitting in his little pen, waiting on somebody to take him home, like a kid sitting there waiting for his parents to pick him up from school. But he's different. He's definitely neurotic. I think he's OCD, or I don't know what his deal is. I really do think he's OCD because every night he's got to go and touch the dresser, the pull for the dresser. You know, it kind of lifts up and goes down, and he'll lift it with his nose and drop it, and it makes a loud noise. And he's just every night he's surprised by it. Just that did that again, and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna do it every night, dummy. But he's got to do that before he can go lay down. He's just something. He's something else. And he's actually not in here right now. I couldn't get him in here if I held a gun to his head because.
No, Amanda, don't worry about it. It's not strictly HVAC talking here. It's just it happens to be what's most closely related to me and Nick. So
yeah, it's actually just where the idea is to just shoot the bull over what we did throughout the week. So
yeah, and
we didn't pick up any dogs, but we can go over it.
Free country.
That's right. It's my show, and I said we're going to talk about him. But yeah, he's just so neurotic and so crazy. It's something else. But yeah, he won't walk down the hallway to come in here with me. I could hold a gun to his head; he wouldn't do it. Not that I would think he would know what it meant if I held a gun to his head. But Z, he's actually the one that's got the sad story. We found him at a rescue agency after somebody basically left him in an apartment after they got evicted. They basically just left him there to die. Left him in his cage. You could tell that he had never been let out of his cage in probably the first 6 months of his life. So if I ever get a chance to talk to those first owners and say a dark room with only one light bulb overhead and a floor drain, we've got a lot to talk about. Yeah.
That's how it was with my dog, which, if anybody doesn't know, passed away recently, only about a month and a half ago or so, almost 2 months. But she was a pit bull lab mix, and she had been brought back to the shelter 3 times. Nobody wanted her. They say horrible dog and this and that, and she was actually scheduled to be euthanized in 2 or 3 days when we picked her up, and turned out to be the best dog we ever had, and had her for 15 years. It just shows you that animals are only as good as their owners.
Well, that was Django too. He was brought back, twice. And, he was probably on his last chance too. Yeah. That's what I tell him when I get annoyed with him. I'm like, you've been brought back twice. We bring you back again. That's it. But I like to mess with him. But yeah, he's I really think that people were getting him and thinking that he was going to be some kind of watchdog or something. But he's just so mild-mannered that he's not going to do it. He's some kind of lab mix. He's got about 13 different dogs in him, so I couldn't even begin to tell you what we posted in the group a while back in the Facebook group what his doggy DNA.
I remember Monica doing that.
And Z. So he's
thank you, Amanda. It's okay. I mean,
mix.
she was super old, so it was definitely time.
Jeremy says HVAC sucks.
So, well, you see, you're a residential tech, Jeremy. You need to bump that shit up to the commercial world, buddy. Lab pit mix, okay. Dances and smiles every time. Yeah, see, that's how I had it too, man. Just a super cool dog, friendly around everyone, every person that come in the house, babies, everything. It was no problem. She was the type of dog that I left entire dinner plates full of food on a coffee table, you know, and I mean, a coffee table is not very high. And she was such a good dog that she didn't even want to think about getting yelled at when I would leave the plate behind me and walk out of the room. She would follow me.
Yeah,
and
that's the
then
way
follow me
Django
back
is,
in.
man. That's the way Django is. He's so just mild mannered, man.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, dogs just want to be loved and cared for. That's all they want.
I never said kill anybody, Gareth. I just said I'd like to be in a dark room with maybe one light bulb overhead and a floor drain.
See, Amanda's loving this right now, you know, because you know, if none of you know, Amanda has like a secret obsession with animals.
With all animals.
Yeah.
She's got a cat, I think, though.
Yeah, the way I see it, Jeremy, is you know, when one passes, it's just to make room for another one who needs saved. That's all it is, you know, because I don't look for dog breeders or anything like that. I look for dogs who were abandoned, left behind, and everything else. We rescue every animal we've ever owned has rescued. Some of them have come from kill shelters and everything else, like the last one I just passed. Some other ones have been injured, laying underneath cars on the side of the street, and have been brought home, nursed back to health, and lived with us. So, you know, I think there's only been one or two puppies throughout the history of this household, and you know, dozens of dogs. So, maybe not dozens, but you know, because dogs have kind of a long time to live, but maybe a dozen have.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Clint. I know he's got all kinds of animals at his house.
Yeah, Clint, you do have quite a. You almost have like a petting zoo going on there, buddy.
Yeah, really, man. You need to get out of HVAC and just tour around the country with them.
Yeah, Jeremy. Yeah, you definitely need to get out of those attics, dude. They're the silent killer.
Yeah.
Been there, done it. You know.
I actually do some kayaking, Jeremy. You can't see it right now, but right behind that yellow flag there, that's my backyard, and there's two kayaks sitting upright against my shed, right on the other side of that window.
I haven't done kayaking recently. I have in the past, but not regularly. Yeah, Gil, I remember you telling me about that, man. Yeah, I mean, 19 years, man. Jesus, that's a hell of a long time. You know, I've had very few dogs live that long, man, but I feel for your brother. You know, it's gonna suck, but damn that, you know, and knowing who you are as a person, man, I know you've given that dog an incredible life. So, you know, I know the day's got to be coming soon, brother. And hey, anything you need, you know, we got your back, my man.
Yeah, man, we got you. I actually, after my German Shepherd, I didn't get a dog for a long, long time. Probably the longest I've ever gone without having a. Actually, let me think about that for a second. I don't think I've ever remembered not having a dog in the house.
Yeah, and it's normally just been like, you know, when one is passed and you're kind of dealing with that, you know, because it's kind of that notion where you're like, you know, when the dog, you know, the time is coming. Because like with mine recently, we knew she had cancer real bad. There was no two ways about it, but she was still really active, you know, barking, yelling, playing, throwing toys around and everything else. The entire week before she had to be put to sleep, when I come home from work, she didn't even get up off the floor to see me anymore. Didn't wag her tail or nothing. She could hardly move. She had a big tumor on her chest that turned black. And so we're anticipating that, you know, she was bleeding into that tumor.
Yeah.
But damn, where was I going with this now?
I don't know. You got distracted by the comments. It's been a rough year for dogs, though, man. I know.
But yeah, back on dogs. But yeah, it's as much as it sucks when you're going through the process of one passing along. The minute you don't have one anymore, you know, your first thought is like, damn, I need another dog. You know, as much as you don't want to think that, but not only does it fill the void, but you know, there's another animal out there that needs rescued. You know, and then, you know, at least, you know, hopefully you'll get many, many years out of it. Unfortunately, we had a shepherd, and we only had her for 3 years before she passed on. But
Yeah, I know one of the guys that I work with, man, he just had to have his dog put down just, I think, right after yours.
Jeremy, you ain't kidding, man. 2020 has been the biggest bitch of all bitches.
Yeah, mine's not a fishing kayak, Jeremy. Mine's just we just go out and paddle around. Not very good at it, so take that for what it's worth. I think I got a picture.
I had a thing where, like, let's face it, I'm a fat guy, and I feel like I'm always going to tip the damn thing over.
Kayak's really hard to tip over. So canoes tip over pretty easy, though.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know. I know canoes, I've definitely tipped a few over being fat. And being tall, high center of gravity.
High center of gravity.
We'll call it that.
A lot of inertia.
Yeah. A lot of beers sitting around that are empty.
Here we go. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but I actually do have a photo of my shepherd on my phone here. It's one of my favorite ones ever. See if I can get in front of the camera where you guys can see it. Oh, shit. This is so confusing, man.
My fiance says she's shaking her head at me right now.
Yeah, let me turn that light off for a minute. Damn it. Right there. There we go. It's one of my favorite photos, so... Turn this back on.
I'll show you photos from my phone, but I'm using my phone, so
You're
it doesn't work.
Currently on your phone?
Yeah. Doesn't work. $12. Oh, that's okay. Maybe that's what I need to do, Jeremy. Just do a lot of research. And yes, I would definitely love to get a boat. It's definitely on my list. Don't worry. Next step's a house before that, though. So,
have you seen what Gareth actually pulls that boat with?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's a little Subaru Is it a Legacy?
Oh, that
Gareth,
was him.
or?
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's him. Yeah,
I do remember seeing that one. Yeah,
Subaru.
I was looking. I was like, wow. It's not what you see every day. But hey, if it works, it works,
He's Australian, man. They're crazy. He's probably had more beers than the two of us put together, and it's 11 o'clock over there.
Probably.
Oh, we're back up to double digits.
Are we?
We are. So the dog thing works. This is what we're figuring out. We got to write that down.
Dogs
on a sheet of paper. Dogs and kayaks.
Dogs, kayaks, and HVAC. I mean, what could go wrong? And beer, except for all my beers are empty. So,
you want one of mine?
Yeah. You send it in the mail from North Carolina to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's that's what 10-hour tractor ride, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I like how he says however you say it, like he's talking to us. That's pretty funny, Jeremy.
We've been an hour and 3 minutes into this already. You believe that?
No, I don't. It feels like we just jumped on here.
Yeah. Really?
Man. So this is what Gil talks about when he says, "Oh man, we get into it and then we got to get off here."
Yeah. I see.
We finally found the secret sauce.
The thing is initially when started listening to podcasts and stuff, I'm like, man, how the hell can you sit there for an hour and a half, 2 hours and
talk about this stuff?
Like, yeah, and then I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, that's what happens.
This is how it happens because
yeah,
it's wild too because we've never actually met each other either.
No, me and Nick, ironically enough, have never met each other face to face, and I'll throw it out there. Nick is actually, at least I want him to be one of my groomsmen at my wedding.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely do it.
So
I'll get out there and do.
And you know what? Who we have to thank for that is the man in the comments here from HVAC Uncensored, Mr. Gil Cavey. He's actually the reason I met Nick because we were initially just members of the HVAC Uncensored group. And Nick had mentioned it one time in the comments or something that he ran his own group. And I said, hey, send it over. I'll show some support. And here I am, now we're admin and doing live videos and everything else.
That's been about a year at this point too.
It's been a long time.
It's been over a year because I
was
know.
going to say, because we've probably been moderators of that group for probably a year now. And it's been quite a while.
Yeah, I know Jeremy is a moderator in the group as well.
Correct.
He's also in his underwear right now, if anybody
knows.
Dude,
I'm in my underwear too, man. Wait, where's the camera? There we go. Thumbs up. Yeah, that's why I actually haven't gotten up to go to the bathroom or anything yet, because I'm in my
the camera
underwear.
Works two ways.
Yeah. I would have to shut the camera off before I did anything.
So, quick story. Zach is kind of the reason. He's what got me on YouTube and got me listening to podcasts and everything. And his co-host, Ralph Wolf, he always turns the camera off when he's smoking. So, yeah, like that.
Yeah, I do remember him doing that a lot.
But yeah, we tell you one more quick story, and then I think we'll start winding it down because he's correct. We are over an hour. It's been an hour and 6 minutes. It feels like it's been 5 minutes. But we ended up being moderators on the HVAC Uncensored group for Gil Cavey, which I don't know if he's still in the chat now or if he had left, but we ended up being moderators for him because we were roasting somebody in his group so regularly that truly deserved being roasted. And that's actually also how I met Amanda and Evan, which I know Amanda's in there. Evan's watching, but he's not.
Hey, check out the comment that was made about you and about the on there. Shout
Was
out
there
to
a comment made about me?
whoever did that one. Oh yeah. So make your groomsmen ugly so your fiance doesn't doubt.
I told her to run the other day. But yeah, that's kind of how the four of us, or the five of us, because Monica, she's pretty
I know
active
you told her
too.
to run. I witnessed that in the comments.
I know it was on a day that you couldn't comment.
Yeah, it was like a day or two before I was actually allowed back on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Is that what you're talking about? The
Cheeseburger.
Wow, that's more inside than the HVAC talk we were doing 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. If you guys want us to discuss anything, want us to touch on anything before we wind us off, feel free to leave it down there in the comments.
Yeah, we'll give it
I know it primarily got tied up with HVAC.
We'll give it about a minute before we get off of here. We'll let Jay get another beer. I can hear him rummaging through the fridge.
Actually, yeah, I'm actually getting 3. I'm not joking. As soon as I get back to my post up there, I'll show you.
Yeah, so for everybody else that's watching, I will say this while we wait to see if anybody wants us to talk about anything. I posted this in the group before. Damn it, gotta get in front of the camera. This is a lot harder than it looks getting crap in front of the camera. So I sent this back for warranty. This is the Milwaukee M12 inflator. And I sent it back for warranty Saturday the 11th.
Okay, there we are.
And I got this sucker back Monday.
So I was not sure. But I've been meaning to get one of those.
Dude, I tell you what, man, I've been thoroughly impressed with how they stand behind their products, man. 9 days to get that thing back to me, and I sent it back on a Saturday.
That's good, though, man. Yeah, Milwaukee, I mean, granted, a lot of their stuff's made in China. Some people are touchy on that nowadays, but Milwaukee has always been top-notch quality and
China,
Top-notch customer service.
they've brought you such great hits as the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
we're sorry.
see. Never moderate, Jay. Yeah, trust me, buddy. I will never do such a thing.
Jay can't moderate. He's always
Ask my fiance. She's the one who just
banned.
posted the laughing emojis in the comments. Gotta go, guys. Gotta work tomorrow. All right, buddy. Well, have a good night. I appreciate you joining us and kick some ass tomorrow.
I've actually got a call. I've got to go run tomorrow.
Do you?
The inflator. What's that?
What's that?
Actually, while we do that real quick, I'm going to post the video that I did for it.
Yeah, if any of you guys are interested, Nick always does RVing tradesman videos. A lot of it's related to anything outdoors, and also there's some stuff in there for vehicle maintenance and cooking. I mean, there's all kind of stuff on there. So also check out the RVing tradesman YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you guys aren't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm so close to 1,000.
Wayne's
people.
World.
It drives me insane that I can't reach 1,000 people.
I think that's what I think I remember Kelly saying something about that. It was probably business related or something though, but it's like just getting over the hump and then continuing from there is always like the hardest.
Oh, why can't I share right from there? It's gonna make me open it. It's gonna make.
All right, Jeremy. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Have a good night.
Steve, I've got this link coming to you right now, buddy. Oh, later, Jeremy.
I don't know if Gil's still in here or not. I haven't heard nothing from him.
I haven't heard anything from him. If he was in here, he'd be talking.
He said he was out of town, though, so he probably doesn't either have good data or Wi-Fi or anything like that. But
he's too cheap. We go right back to making fun of him as soon as he leaves.
Yeah. He didn't get to buy his wife that nice Denali for nothing.
He ever buy a truck? He was talking about that for a long time.
I don't think he has yet.
I don't think
or if he has, I haven't heard.
So I've been listening to the back catalog of the HVAC Uncensored stuff, and he actually read the review that I left on the podcast, or for the podcast on his podcast, and I think I laughed harder at my own review than I did anything else. There was the one where I told him, or I said, Gil's such a great guy. He saved me with CPR one day, and I wasn't even passed out.
Yeah, any of you HVAC guys here that
it'll work great for a blow up doll, man. You could blow up a doll,
You could blow that son of a bitch up in like seconds flat, man. So
yeah.
I mean, if you got a Woody you're worried about going away, dude, just hit it with that inflator. You'll be ready to go in seconds.
Oh, it's got here. I'll show you real quick. Steve, it's got all the adapters on it. If I can get it in front of the
look at that. See,
for your basketball or football.
I'm surprised you can't use it as a penis pump.
You might be able to.
Mm-hmm.
You got to find the intake on it. I think it intakes from like the side or something.
Yeah. But anybody who doesn't follow the HVAC Uncensored podcast, go check them out. Good quality stuff. Gil Cavey and Kelly McKay. Kelly is a wizard in this business. I don't think he's in here with us today, but
anybody in a service industry, I recommend it.
Yeah,
because there's so much stuff that you can apply to just any job.
And then also Kelly McKay has started some pages on his own about advancing in this industry as an owner and stuff, and check it out because Kelly is a whiz.
I think it's HVAC Millionaire, or no?
I think it's something like that, but yeah, definitely check that out too.
Google it real quick. I'll give those guys some props because they always support me.
Yeah, I mean,
come on,
those guys are super cool.
Oh, HVAC Millionaire Secrets. That's what it is.
Okay, I knew it was something like that. Yeah, he just invited me to like it recently, and anything Kelly puts out there, I'm okay with. He's a super cool guy, super down to earth, and I mean, he's a whiz. Dare I say, a genius.
Again, just like going back to Zach, they're two guys, man, that you feel like
Yeah.
you know them. You feel like they're your next door neighbor, and they're out there helping you out when you get home from work, cut your lawn, or whatever it is that neighbors do. I don't have a good relationship with my neighbors, so I don't know what good neighbors do.
They're like the guys that you feel like you've known forever, but at the same time, they're like the guys that you strive to be because, you know, they're like top dogs in the world of podcasts and everything else.
They're like
So
us, but not scumbags.
You're saying we're scumbags?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Let us know, Mr. Steve, when it's back online.
Let us know,
Be
man.
sure
We'll check it
to
out.
check it out, my man. Always up for some supporting some friends, man. And especially if you're here showing support for us, you know, hey, what goes around comes around, brother.
That's right. But all right, man, we are down to 5 viewers, so I think it's time that we start winding this down. Thank you for everybody that came out. We hit double digits at one point, which I didn't think we were going to do that.
I was a little skeptical myself, but hey, maybe you guys, you know, take some time to you know, send us some messages and stuff like that to see if you want this to be a regular thing, you know, and maybe give us a vote on how often. Maybe we'll do something to see. Maybe we'll do some polls and stuff too. But if you guys have anything you want talked about, you know, how often you want to see this and everything else, feel free to let us know at any given time. I'm free to answer messages as long as I'm not in Facebook jail. So if I'm in Facebook jail, message Nick. He's always not in Facebook jail.
Dude, I can't do anything on Facebook without them flagging it. So I just don't do anything on Facebook anymore. Yeah, I just put the email address in the chat. So anybody that
There you go.
has an idea, something that they want us to talk about, something that we talked about today that maybe you want to know more about, feel free to email me. I usually get back to those really quick. I think I've got that email on my new phone now. So if you guys have been emailing me over the last week, I probably haven't been getting them on my phone. I don't check the computer very often. So,
oh yeah, you did just get a new phone. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the other one had catastrophic failure on me, but we'll save that. We'll save that for another one. But again,
Give one
guys,
more for Casey.
Nice. But yeah, if you guys aren't subscribed, please do subscribe. Like I said, I'm so dangerously close to 1,000 people, it hurts me.
So, wait, I think, who was it earlier? Somebody said where we were. I think it was David.
It's 939, I think. You are just doing this to keep me on this 5 minutes longer, aren't you?
David's comments went away, I guess, maybe because he left. I don't know. I don't know why his comments
939 subscribers.
Okay. Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
We're damn close. So yeah, anybody that actually watches the channel, you know, please feel free to, if you feel so, give it a share on Facebook, you know, throw it out there. And if you don't follow the channel, hey, check it out. You know, give us a subscribe. Getting close to that 1,000 mark. You know, Nick puts out some great content. I would honestly be helping him a ton more with videos if I didn't live in a different state. But
yeah, that makes it difficult, doesn't it?
Difficult, yeah. But one of these days soon, I hope to go down there and actually film a video with him. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned. We might get that done in the next 5 years. I've got some videos that I need to get out, but just work's getting in the way right now. So hopefully I can get something done over the weekend. Maybe get the last. There's literally 2 videos that need 5 minutes of like video shot, and then they're ready to go up. So hopefully I can get some of that.
Damn lazy.
I know, right? Just being up on them rooftops where it's 120 degrees all day. I just don't
What
feel
the hell
like.
are you bitching about? Jeremy's in attics. He has it worse than you do.
Well, it's not my fault Jeremy doesn't get into commercial. That's his fault.
Hey, I appreciate you tuning in, man. Enjoy those steaks. I'm jealous.
Go chuck some
Mr.
steaks on
Steve,
the
I'm in
Barbie.
Pennsylvania, and Nick is in North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm just outside of Charlotte. So,
And I'm
Give you
just
an idea.
outside of Pittsburgh.
go chuck
Makes it
some
easy.
steaks
2
on
places
the
people
Barbie.
generally know: Pittsburgh and Charlotte. You know,
Pretty
major
much.
cities.
But that's all for now, guys. As always, like I say at the end of every video, stay safe out there, and we'll see you on the next live stream.
Thank you for tuning in, guys, and thank you for listening to my drunk ass ramble. But